On today's episode of What's Happening in the First World Country, quote unquote, America, this is what's going on.
Trump and his minions are sitting here blaming this flood in Texas on Biden. What the fuck? Bro, MAGA, y'all are fucking dumb. Just stop. Shut the fuck up. Do your own research because Trump is lying to you guys every motherfucking day. Like, why don't y'all see this? Like, why? Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Wow. Didn't take long. Didn't take long for you guys to pop up like a bunch of little warts on the behind. Listen, you little weirdo. Let's just get something straight. When that happened, Joe Biden put in FEMA. He brought in the National Guard. He didn't cut FEMA funding the way this little orange shithead has been. That's your boy doing that. FEMA was in place. The National Guard was in place. Yeah. So he was able to help people in Tennessee during that flooding.
Well, this is what we'll be discussing about today, and I'm happy to hear what you have to say in the comment section down below on Trump blaming Biden about the floods in Texas.
Please educate yourself, sweetheart. Bless your nasty ass self. Shake my head. Proud Texan here. Ben did nothing for North Carolina, right? Not an effing thing. That was worse. FEMA was a shit money hungry. I'm so glad you didn't say proud and educated. You're a proud Texan trying to advocate for North Carolina. Ma'am, you voted for everything you're going through, and I hope it gets worse. Please don't come under my comments think you're going to get sympathy from me because I give absolutely no fucks. None. Please find another lane, a safe one to fucking play on. Because this one is not named safe lane for you. Okay? You voted for what you're going through. You voted for the National Weather Center to be defunded. So enjoy. Enjoy your fucking vote and get the fuck out of my comments because I don't know who the fuck you came here looking for sympathy for because it's not for me. I don't give a damn. Find somebody else because you won't get it here. I promise you, you won't. The fuck? On top of that, go read a book because you can't complete 2 sentences. Not even through text. Find what is it called? Chat GPT? Use that. Because clearly you weren't educated enough. Good night. The fuck?
Just when I thought y'all MAGA cultists couldn't get any crazier, y'all one up yourselves. Y'all haven't been keeping up with the news lately. Texas had one of the deadliest hurricanes in that state's history. And now people are saying that because the Trump administration cut funding to the NOAA and inhibited their ability to accurately predict that hurricane, which could have saved a bunch of lives had they not had their funding cut. And in come MAGA country because a user asked, did those funding cuts contribute to the deaths in that hurricane? And Grok, an AI bot created by Elon Musk for Twitter, pretty much told them yes. Now Trump's MAGA cult is going to war with a AI bot calling it a woke piece of crap. And I'm not going to lie, Grunk has been giving them the business on Twitter saying Trump's NOAA cuts and parrot flood warnings contributing to death clashes with his views. Facts aren't woke. They're just facts. Look, AI bots are not 100% correct all the time, but imagine being so delusional that you try to argue with the AI bot and think it's not going to fact check you. They will literally argue with anybody who disagrees with them, even an AI bot.
Really? Biden? No. The reason why this happened was because he fucking defunded. Well, not defunded, but he did major cuts on the fucking weather department. This is why this happened. So now, considering that before the weather department, you were able to get updates, like multiple updates a day on the weather patterns. But once Doge came in and cut, took all the money, gutted the program, now we only get weather updates once a motherfucking day. I told you guys this 4 months ago. But MAGA got on here and was like, you're lying. Ain't no way somebody would do that. Yeah, your president would, okay? Because he did. Don't blame Biden. It's Trump's fault, okay? And then the second thing is like FEMA. Y'all motherfuckers didn't care about FEMA when it didn't affect you, but now it does. And mind you, I'm not sitting here blaming Texas like, oh my gosh, because those poor kids had nothing to do with it. They can't vote. And all the people's lives that were lost sucks. But this is all a directness to Trump. Duh. It's Trump's fault. All of this is Trump's fault. And you guys keep getting on here talking about Biden. What the fuck? Really? Biden been out of office for a minute now. This is Trump's fault. Pay attention, MAGA. Wake the fuck up. Like, start doing your own research, because your poor little daddy is lying to you guys, okay? Like, oh my fucking gosh. I'm so sick of y'all niggas. Damn.
So by now we've all been keeping up with the flood story coming out of Texas. I believe at last count it was a total of 80 people that lost their lives. Over 20 of them were children. And we're hearing reports now that there will be aid sent to Texas sometime in the near future. But that's not what this post is about. This post is about the fact that when Syphilitic Sid was made aware of the flooding and what had transpired, he instead chose to go golfing. He went golfing anyway. He was advised of what happened, and he still chose to go golfing. Then when he came back from golfing and Marine One landed at the White Hood, reporters met him there and they began to question him about the flood. And he pretended he couldn't hear. He kept saying, "What? I can't hear you. I can't understand you." This is not a real place anymore. Like, we knew he didn't care. I believe that there are some people that would call his behavior sociopathic. I don't know. I'm not a therapist. I don't know nothing about that. But what I do know is we've lost the plot on this one. And it's not the first disaster that's occurred that he just hasn't given a shit about. But Kerr County is a red, deep red MAGA stronghold of wealthy MAGA people. And he still couldn't even muster anything. I don't know. I don't know.
All y'all saying Trump cut funding, we had to cut funding. The Democrats, Joe Biden, sent billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. Just think if that money had been spent right here. That's why Trump's having to cut funding.
I'm glad we can agree on one thing. I'm glad that we can agree that Trump's budget cuts had a direct impact on this tragedy in Texas, this flood. I'm glad we can agree on that. But you don't get to blame a previous administration and their budget for the budget that this administration just passed. Because I have been hearing it for 6 motherfucking months that we need to cut taxes so that I can have a little bit more money in my pocket. You all want to cut services that benefit everybody so that you can have a little bit more money in my pocket. And this is a direct fucking result of that. Direct result. And 80% of that money being sent to Ukraine was old fucking equipment. I know, because my unit got entirely new Bradleys, but that's besides the point. The real issue is that collectively, us as a society went to the voting pamphlet and we made a decision. Am I okay with more people dying by cutting social services so that I can have money in my pocket? And the majority of Americans said yes. That is the harsh reality of the decisions that we make. Just for the record, I'm not blaming this tragedy on people that voted for Trump, man. This tragedy is way, way too fucking serious. But there are consequences to how we vote. There are consequences to cutting climate science's budget. You do not get to blame any other administration.
Wow. Didn't take long. Didn't take long for you guys to pop up like a bunch of little warts on the behind. Listen, you little weirdo. Let's just get something straight. When that happened, Joe Biden put in FEMA. He brought in the National Guard. He didn't cut FEMA funding the way this little orange shithead has been. That's your boy doing that. FEMA was in place. The National Guard was in place. Yeah. So he was able to help people in Tennessee during that flooding. So you can't blame Joe Biden on this. You can't blame the Democrats on this. This is your boy. Okay? When Senator Huckabee, one of his besties, asked her orange buddy for FEMA funding because Nebraska got really hard hit with the storms up there, he told her no. There's no FEMA funding for you. His loyal and devoted Huckabee fan had to be told no. Now she's pissed. Now Texas, devoted, loyal follower of Trump, you think you're going to get any FEMA funding? He cut it with his big, ugly ass fucking bill. Yeah. And where's he sending the National Guard? To LA. He's not sending them to Texas to help you guys out. He's sending them to LA. So if you want to cry, get your little MAGA tears, you know, we told you. We told you. We warned you. So suck it up, you little weirdo. That's all your boy's doing. Don't blame this on Biden. Don't blame this on Kamala. This is all you guys' fault. You put that son of a bitch in office. Now deal with him.
Here it is. He just couldn't help himself. Trump has blamed Biden for the disastrous flooding that occurred in Texas and then walked it back.
The federal government left key vacancies at the National Weather Service or in the emergency coordination?
No, they did not. They didn't. I'll tell you, if you look at that water situation that all is, and that was really the Biden setup. That was not our setup, but I wouldn't blame Biden for it either.
He just refuses to own anything. And the reality is this occurred under his watch as president, and these cuts occurred under his administration to the National Weather Service. Now, the National Weather Service stands by their forecasting regarding this, but in new reporting from the New York Times, they're saying that the weather center that reports on the area that was most affected by this flooding was short-staffed. This is the San Angelo office, and they were missing a senior hydrologist, a staff forecaster, and a senior meteorologist in charge. This is according to the union that represents weather service workers. And the nearby San Antonio office also had significant vacancies, including a warning coordination meteorologist. So that's someone that helps alert the authorities that, hey, there's a major storm coming. We need to get people out. This warning coordination meteorologist left on April 30th after taking Trump's early retirement package as they were trying to reduce the amount of federal employees. This was done with Doge. Let me know if you think this situation would have been much different had Trump's cuts not affected the National Weather Service. Comment, like, share, spread the word, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
Good evening, everyone. We have some interesting news as Trump won't rule out ending FEMA, but blames Biden for the floods that happened in Texas. Trump was asked by reporters if he planned to get rid of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, where he wouldn't rule it out. Trump said, "FEMA is something we can talk about later." Another reporter would ask Trump if he was investigating into the cuts that led to vacancies at the Weather Service, leading to issues with the floods. Trump said they didn't. That water situation, that was really the Biden setup. That was not our setup. he would go on to retract blaming Biden, saying, "But I wouldn't blame Biden for it either." Do you guys think he plans to blame Biden throughout his entire administration? I mean, at this point, he's just a non-consensual scapegoat. And I don't think a single thing that he's blamed Biden for has actually been Biden's fault. As for FEMA, I don't think Trump cares, and he never will. I guarantee you he just wanted to avoid the question because he doesn't give a shit about the American people. At the end of the day, FEMA would have been able to or would be able to help these people out after this massive flood, and now they likely won't be able to because they've lost a lot of funding. They will to some degree, but not at the degree they should be able to. Not to mention the fact that this could have very much been avoided if Trump didn't make so many cuts from meteorologists or hydrologists, which are the people who predict those flash floods. It's all Trump's fault. It really is. But with that being said, thank you everyone for watching this video. Like Green Posters to get the information out, and drop a follow for more news content. Later.
Donald Trump just blamed President Biden for the flooding in Texas. Let me explain this. When asked by a reporter whether or not they were looking into whether federal funding being cut led to people being unprepared for the flooding along the Guadalupe River that has resulted in more than 70 individuals, including children as young as third graders, losing their lives, President Trump said, "Oh, that's all Biden stuff. That was a Biden setup, but I wouldn't blame him either." Essentially saying that all of the stuff that happened along the Guadalupe River was Joe Biden's fault, but he's not going to blame him. This was a 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 year flooding event, if you listen to people on the media, but it happened in 1987. That being said, still, more than 70 individuals across 5 counties have lost their lives because of these floods. More than 10 campers are still missing from Camp Mystic, and the President of the United States, instead of taking accountability and taking responsibility and putting people on the ground to help the situation, is blaming the former president, just as his Department of Homeland Security secretary blamed the alarm system and local officials blamed the weather officials. Republicans cannot take ownership for anything that happens on their watch. They always have to have somebody to blame.